Welcome to Fraser Mac Gaming. I'm Fraser Mac. This is my new YouTube channel all about gaming, collecting and connecting with other gamers. So EGX Rezzed 2018 recently took place from April 13th to the 15th in London. I was lucky enough to be there for a whole day, getting my hands on the latest indie games being released or being showcased that are in development. So lots of games from Nindies showcases from recent months and from way back that have been forgotten about because of delays. So what were the best games? Which games lived up to the hype? Which ones fell short of the buzz? And what were my top 5 Nindies on showcase at the EGX Rezzed 2018? Let's find out. EGX Rezzed, if you don't know, is an event in London. It's London's biggest gaming event of the year. There are literally over 200 games there on showcase for media, YouTubers like me, and also for the gaming fans, just everyone out there at home, watching. So you can go there, get your hand on the latest games, mainly from indie studios that are coming out on all your favourite platforms. Getting down to the Nindies on show at the event. So there were lots of games on show, games like Bad North, Brawlout, Cluster Pack 99, there was Shoe, Sonic Mania, there was West of Loathing, Lumines Remastered, we had Dead Cells, we had Rogue Aces. I love Rogue Aces, watch my review. There was just like so many games that you've probably been waiting for. They've been showcased by Nintendo. Also brilliant games by other independent studios, not shown in the Indie showcases, but great games. So my top 5 list. Basically my list is going to be for games that were not released or are not released at time of this video. So there were just so many games I had to narrow it down somehow. So games like Sonic Mania, Brawlout, Cluster Pack 99, I didn't want to include them because they are great games, but everyone probably knows about them already. So the games that are on this list have not yet been released but are due to be out on Switch this year. So my top 5. I'm going to start off with the games that didn't make the list. So this might be controversial. Some high quality games that, or highly hyped games that didn't make the list. So starting off, Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, didn't make my list. I've not played the previous games. I'm not gonna kind of a nostalgia attachment to the series. I played it. I played through the level they had on show. Obviously, it is a game, based on, the main character Travis. He's been sucked into a video game with his arch nemesis, and basically, you've got to play through a series of different, computer game styles with these two characters. The game that was on show was very much like a kind of hack and slash, anime type Japanese version of almost Star Wars. You had like almost like a lightsaber. You were rushing through this kind of video game Tron type style level. Lots of sort of special moves, lots of action, lots of baddies. Seemed very easy. I don't know what kind of level they put it on, but it didn't really grab me. It seemed quite repetitive. It obviously is a button bashing game. They can be like that, but it didn't really grab me and make me think, this is a game I've got to check out. So people fans of this series, you might think differently, but it didn't make my list. Sorry guys, sorry. So next it didn't make my list, West of Loathing. This is a really interesting game. I actually, I think it's a fun game. It's really, good nature, good humour. Art style stands out. The kind of the sort of pencil drawing style. It's very crisp, very clear, but it's a good humour game. It's interesting, so I'm going to keep an eye on it, keep checking it out. Top 5, the first game, number 5, Pocket Rumble. So this game, long been anticipated. It was originally talked about way back in a showcase. I think it was in February 2017. So this has been long delayed. People have been talking about it, but essentially it is a kind of 8-bit, kind of old school pixel art, like a NES version game of like an homage to like Street Fighter. It is pure 2-button bashing fight action. Brilliant game. Lots of people have been talking about it before I went to the event. I was really excited to play it. I got a chance to have a few matches on it. I luckily came out as a winner, so that helps. But I just thought it really well done, looked cool, the sound was great, really liked the music, the You know, the action was good, and I think it just kind of grabbed me, sucked me in, and I just thought this is a game I would love to play with my friends. So, number 4 on my list of the top 5 Nindies at EGX Rezzed is Shift Quantum. So this is a game I didn't actually know anything about going to the event, and it was a bit of a surprise. It's from Red Panda and Fishing Cactus Games. I hope I've got that right. It's kind of a cool name though. This is based on an old like Flash series game, so it was called Shift, and they have revived it, kind of modernised it. It's a very cool game. It's like a puzzle platformer with an art style of a kind of black and white sci-fi futuristic. It's kind of like a reminiscent of the Sin City graphic novel and films. So it looks very cool and very precise. I got to speak to one of the artists. This is a really interesting game, really unique platformer, kind of puzzle game. I'm not big on puzzle games, but this one really grabbed me. So you're essentially a character in the future in this world where basically a computer system is going to create serenity for all mankind. So you're in this system. In your mind, you're actually trying to escape. And you can use this kind of unique mechanic where you actually shift space. So you can effectively kind of flip the surroundings around you to traverse over obstacles, shift your way in kind of like negative space, they call it, and to reach a doorway and then get to the next level that's playable. Quite a mind bender to get your head around shifting and where things move to, where you are. But once you get in the swing of it, it was really fun. I thought it was really done well. I did find one small glitch where I jumped into a kind of piece of wall and kind of got stuck. It was quickly fixed. I hope they get that out of the game, and I just thought it was a really awesome game. It was a really good surprise, really good find, so I'm looking forward to that coming out summer 2018 on Switch. Number 3 on my list, it's Dead Cells. This is a Metroidvania roguelike style game. Lots of people will have played Metroidvania games before, so you'll know basically what this game is how it's going to work. But there are lots of these style games, but this one I think is just a very well done game. So you are in a prison, essentially a kind of dungeon type layout, but it is kind of a 16-bit style SNES type game, in terms of its visual style, but it's much more kind of brighter, more futuristic than a lot of games you might have played in this style. It's got kind of influences obviously of like Castlevania, Metroid, also sort of Dark Souls, but it has some slightly different slants on it, and it's just very well done. So you are an immortal prisoner. You've kind of awoken in this place, and you have to try and find your way out. So you are this really powerful being, but you have no head. So you have this smoky flame. It's kind of this quirky sort of slant to the game in terms of your character. You obviously work your way through down into these dungeons. Lots of action. You have lots of weapons you can collect, different things you can use. You can platform really well, and you can upgrade your abilities. Change your weapons. There's lots of things you can do in the game as you progress. As it gets more difficult. There's lots of people. Lots of action in it. Lots of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's by Twin Motion. I think this is just a really well done Metroidvania game. It hits on summer 2018 on multiple platforms, obviously on the Switch. I'm really looking forward to it, and I think for me it's a first day buy. Moving on to the top 2, it was just so difficult to separate these games. They're both really good games, both fun. I really enjoyed playing them. I was really excited to play them at the event at Rezzed. They'd been highlighted before, and so the first game coming in at number 2 on my list is Bad North. This was in the Nindies showcase in March this year. It looks fantastic. It's a real-time kind of strategy tactics game. It's got a really charming but challenging feel to it. The visuals, it's just like a watercolor graphic novel. They look amazing. The detail, the colouring, it's just. It looks superb. It's really easy to get hold of. The controls were really good. You essentially just move into this really cool slow motion Matrix style version of the game when you're ordering your troops. So you need to put them into position to defend against these invading Vikings. So I think Scandinavian influences, Vikings are just awesome. So it's just a great look and idea for a game. It plays really well, and obviously just the kind of improving and the upgrading and the challenge and difficulty as you go on just keeps you in. It's very addictive. Obviously, you can kind of upgrade the troops you've got available to you, start to use different tactics, and it's just little touches, the details, like the blood on the land when people are slain. The real detail on the tiny figures, shields, etc. There's a lot of work going into this game. It's a simple idea, but it's just done really well. It got a lot of attention at the event, and I was lucky to meet one of the developers, artists on the game, Richard Meredith. And when you see and you read about the people who've worked in this game and the history and gaming they have, you can understand why it's so good. They've worked on franchises like Little Big Planet in the past. Other things like Teslagrad, Goner, the Little Nightmares. There's some really talented people in this game. I thought it was so much fun. I really liked it, and it was so difficult to split this from the number one on the list. So number one on this list was actually shown in a Nindies showcase way back in Feb 2017. So been waiting around for a while for this. Probably a lot of people out there will know about it, but this is a game, it's from Zoink Games, it's coming out this summer, and it's Flipping Death. So Flipping Death, it's a great name, but the idea is the small town of Flatwood Peaks has a problem, Death is on vacation. So it's just an awesome start to the story straight away. It's not my typical game that I enjoy or go for, but it's just fantastic. The story behind it and everything is amazing. It's a kind of puzzle platformer. What they do really well, Zoink Games, is the visual style, the art in their games is just magnificent. You play as Penny, who has just died. She's gone to the other side, and essentially you have to solve the ghosts who inhabit the other side, their problems. You have to find clues. You have to provide them with things they need. But the kind of unique aspect of the game is you can actually flip between the other side and Flatwood Peaks, which is where the living are. So you can gain points, and then you can possess people in the living world to help you find clues, to help you find items, to help move the story along. The story's fantastic. It's really well written. There's great humour, one-liners, and it just looks amazing. A game I was really excited to play, and it didn't let me down. So a fantastic game. Zoink Games, they've just joined with Image and Form, another studio based in Sweden. They both make awesome games. So Image and Form makes Steam World Dig series. So it's just really quality people. And it was just amazing to play this. So that was my top game. I know some of you might have different opinions on this. If you're at Rezzed, or if there's any games on this list you are looking forward to, leave me some comments down below. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Thanks for watching. Again, I've enjoyed it. I hope you like the content. Tell me what you think down below. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm on Patreon. Support the channel grow. But thanks for your time. See you next time.